Oh, there we go. Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another thrilling episode of Mice and Murder. I'm Sully, your humble dungeon master, and with me, as always, are our Sylvan Sleuths. Say hi, Sylvan Sleuths.
Hola.
Good evening.
All right, listen here, you little shits. We got a bit now. Guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. Either way, if you're not subscribed, why? No, hit the subscribe button. It helps us a whole lot. Helps us a whole lot in doing what it is that we do. Now, last we left our animal investigators, they were in Loam Hall, having discovered all the various comings and goings of clues. We had Alex Greer discover the whisperings of some of the mouse maids tucked away in the kitchen wing. A shrouded assailant stashed away on the roof who's mortally wounded Sergeant Greer and Detective Cross. And of course, the secret study found behind the bookcase in the library where a Medal of Honor belonging to Colonel Hawkins was found on the desk with some bloodied fingerprints on it. Gang, if you'd all be so kind as to fill in some information that you found out or ask any questions that I can answer for you, I will here shortly. But I bring before you a dead squire. A dead Squire Badger found on the floor of his study, having been stabbed in the chest by his own hand with a fresh, unused knife. His elderly maid caught red-handed, truly, hands covered in blood of the boy she's watched over since she was a kid. Suspects all around. Even most of you with shaky alibis at best, and some not accounted for at all. And the icing on the cake that not only is the arch nemesis Fletcher Cottonbottom not dead, but maybe hiding somewhere in Loam Hall, watching and waiting. So I ask you all, who done it?
Question.
Was it Detective Edmund Cross? After all, he was late to the party. The Squire did have a hand in ruining his name, dragging his good name through the mud, and besides, it was only a matter of time before London's greatest sociopath finally cracks. Perhaps it was his loyal partner, Sergeant Alex Greer, who, no doubt, was also upset about the sour reputation they now share. And with the Squire now having them in his pocket, even the toughest soldier would crack as well, no?
No.
Well, what about the ever so suspicious groundskeeper, Edmund Edgar Undergrove? He's done nothing but hide things since the time of the murder. And it's no secret that he was a career criminal not so long ago. Capable of murder is likely. And you can't teach an old dog new tricks, after all. Could it be the butler, Godfrey Jeeves? He was so eager to quit the employ of the Brock Hollows, after all, and didn't seem to particularly fazed at the Squire's death. Then there's the police. Scotland Yard's own Inspector William Duncan. The pursuit of justice often pushes us to do the unthinkable. Perhaps Squire Brockhollow thought himself untouchable, and the only one who could have gotten close would have been a police officer. No one would be the wiser. Finally, that leaves Detective Jack West, the American. He was the one last to see Squire Badger alive.
Very true.
And as per testimony of the maids, their last confrontation didn't go so well. Violent, even. But that's what we put our sleuthing skills to the test. And I will ask you again, gang, who done it?
Question.
Answer.
Do we have any, or do I remember any?
Not me.
Any proof that Badger Guy was ever actually in the war? Is there any other medallions, photos?
Remember, you're not in the study. The only thing you found that would have given you that was the piece of lead that was a fragment of, like, that was a bullet fragmentation lodged in his chest.
That don't mean he was in the war. Maybe he's a gangster.
A straight up G. Anyone else? Questions?
So, just to clarify, what I was doing last session, I'm still in that, like, secret room, right?
Yes, you are currently looking down at the desk. Again, all on the walls is all of this memorabilia and stuff like that. But you see the metal on the desk. It's like kind of folded over the little ribbon part. Probably because it was thrown on, like, tossed onto the desk. It wasn't sat on the desk. But the thing that is really itching at the back of your mind is that there are bloodied fingerprints on it.
Can I examine this? I guess, I don't know, bloody finger. Can I, like, make sense of how big they are? Like, do they look like mouse fingers?
It doesn't look
like
okay.
my
So I'll tell
gorilla
you what.
knuckles?
It doesn't look like mouse fingerprints. I'll tell you what. On this only doesn't work on a natural one. Go ahead and give me an investigation check or a nature check, please. Starting off strong.
I'll leave this.
You immediately. So here's the thing. I'm gonna have you kind of like walk me along here. Bloody. First off, blood means that something was bleeding, right?
How is it dried or is it?
It is dried. It is dried blood.
Okay.
But it's not old blood.
Yeah,
it's not
like blood only takes minutes to dry.
right.
It's not
But it's not to the point where like the color has turned to like super like brown, where like it would be like maybe it was like blood from forever ago. This is
blood would...
like so it's Colonel Hawkins' metal, meaning if he had bled on it months ago, weeks ago, the blood would not look like how it looks now, right? This is blood that is still kind of got that smell to it. It's definitely starting, like, it's still got that copper. It's not brown yet. It still has those like red hints to it, but it is dry, meaning the only thing that you know that was bleeding was
a lot of people have been bleeding.
Yeah.
who's been okay. Who are the people that have been bleeding?
Me.
I mean,
Cross.
the dude, the fucking guy who got murdered.
Squat, yeah. So the only 3 people, and I'm telling you this, Edgar, telling you this, there's only been 3 people that have been covered in blood. This
Mrs. Mosley.
this entire couple of hours that have passed. Mrs. Mosley, Squire Badger, Detective Greer, and Detective Cross. Those are the only 4 people that have bled. Right? So, seeing this blood, it's relatively fresh blood. Whoever touched the metal got blood on their hands at some point, right? Meaning they know about the study. I will also tell you this: with a natural 20 on your nature check, there are no distinct fingerprints. Meaning, like, it's clear somebody grabbed it, but it's not like fingerprints. So like a mouse didn't pick this up. They got like that have fingerprint like pads on their hands. And it's not an animal that has like paws or something. It belongs to some animal who, when they touch the metal, their hair or something smudged the fingerprints.
Okay, so it's like smeared.
It is smeared, yes, but it's clear that somebody grabbed it. Like there's an imprint on the blood that would give off the vibe of a fingerprint. It'd be like if you tried to take your fingerprint with like a glove on, right? It wouldn't make a fingerprint. It'd be like a smudge.
Right.
Go ahead and I'll say you nailed that. Go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd be so kind.
Ooh, you know my weakness. I'm blind. Oh, dude, look how close.
You look around. You're seeing all of this like old war stuff. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like it's very similar to like the stuff about Barcus Aurelius in the sense that, you know, Barcus Aurelius was one of his biggest idols. It didn't make sense for the bust to have the wrong date on it. So that's odd that the date was wrong, for one. Two, you're in this not a war room, but like an old like trophies room. This is like his old formals are in here. All of Squire Badger's medals he's ever acquired are in here. You can literally see like old, like when he was a recruit in the military back in this like before, like in the Schnauzer War that he served in, like before, like well before the Schnauzer War, when he was a fresh recruit, like, you know, in like the military. You see his like old recruit photo is in there. All of this stuff. And another thing that kind of makes you wonder is like, why is it all hidden? Like, sure, I'm gonna say with an H, you know, sure, it's possible he was just paranoid that somebody would steal it from him. These are all like priceless, maybe not like monetarily, but to him, you know, these are probably like irreplaceable, priceless objects. But like I think the other question that really bugs Edgar the most is just the why.
Right. How big is this room?
It's a personal study compared to the other study where you found the body, like the public study out in the hallway. It is about half the size of that, so it's not very big, but it is enough to fit a relatively large desk in it. You know, there's a bunch of picture frames and stuff hanging around. Some of them have like again his old jackets from the military. You know, there's a little like hat stand he has some of his various berets he's collected from his years of service. A case with all of his medals, but also like I want to point out, there is not a Medal of Honor in that medal case.
Well, yeah, because it's on the desk.
Didn't he say he got a Medal of Honor? But I don't think I was actually there for that conversation.
Yeah, but you also got to think he was shot during war.
That gives you a Purple Heart, not a
Oh.
fucking Medal of Honor. You have to have a witness to somebody saving someone's life. Hey. Alright, well, is there only one way in and out from what I can see?
I'm actually going to say this. Now that you're looking around, go ahead and give me another perception check. Go ahead and roll this one with advantage, by the way.
Ooh, that's what I like to see. Ooga, ooga. Wow.
Oof.
That's almost a 12.
As far as you can tell, there's only there's only one door.
A door, like not the same door, like
No,
not
like the door you
came in
the door you came through. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's looking. I'm gonna give you
All right,
one.
so-
I'm gonna give you one final perception.
Question.
Yeah.
Because I know this is a Pathfinder thing, kind of, but I don't know if this is a D&D thing.
Hit me.
Can I like take my time and take a natural 10?
I will absolutely let you take a 10. And it's because you're doing that, I'm going to send you. Or I'm going to tell you this. You see all of those. The big thing is you see all those picture frames and stuff.
Yeah.
He's got these. All of these like I said, giant picture frames with his old jackets and stuff in it. You notice at the bottom of one of his uniforms that's in one of those frames is a step stool.
Hold on. Wait. Can you say that again? Because I'm almost positive I didn't process that correctly.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, you see all of, like, remember how I was saying there was, like, a bunch of frames and whatnot he's got all over the room?
Yeah.
Okay, one of them has, like, just one of his uniforms in it. It doesn't, it by itself doesn't look wrong by any means. Except for when you look at how high up that they are. They're relatively high up. One of the uniforms has a step stool that's been dragged in front of it.
Okay. Does it look like it actually leads anywhere?
The step stool, no, it looks like it leads up to like the lapels of the jacket.
Like, is there? Oh.
It's like, it looks
Is
like
it-
if you, maybe not you, because you're super tall. Squire Badger's pretty big too, but he is shorter than you. You're like 8 feet tall, 9 feet tall, but you're just hunched over all the time, you know, and it just like really like just cuts off 2 feet from your full height. You see that Squire Badger is pretty tall. He shouldn't need a ladder to reach where that goes, essentially.
Does it look like the step stool tilts?
It looks like one of those like you could pick it up and move it, but you see that like this room is pretty dusty. Like I explained last session. It doesn't look like it's been touched in a while, as far as like it hasn't been cleaned. You can literally see that it's been dragged through the dust. Like it's been moved.
Okay. Is it a straight line?
Yeah, it's been moved maybe like 3 feet to the left, to the jacket,
Okay. Well, before I make any more actions, I want to make sure that you know that I did take that metal with the blood on it.
Okay, so you take the metal.
Yep.
Just real quick, any evidence that you guys collect, that like physical evidence that you collect, like in this case, your medal of honor, add it to your inventory.
Wait,
just in
what
case.
Medal of I thought you said you didn't have a Medal of Honor.
No. Okay. Squire Badger does not have a Medal of Honor. On the desk is Colonel Hawkins's Medal of Honor.
Ah, okay. You said there's other medals?
Yeah, they're like,
Can I pick them up?
They're in like a case. They're in like a display case.
Is it locked?
No. There's like a latch on it. There's like a little latch on it. You just come over and take the latch off, and the glass opens up. But there's a bunch of like medals in here. Yeah.
I want to see all the names on them.
All of these medals do belong to Squire Badger. He's not like a highly decorated officer. They're like medals that are given for like, graduating flight school and stuff like that.
Okay. All right.
But like I said,
right.
These are just like medals that you get, ribbons and stuff for when you get promoted in the military and shit like that. The Medal of Honor, like I said, is the one that really makes you go like, why do you have this, essentially, right? Like,
Yeah.
why? Yeah. I think I think that sums it up enough. Is that you see all these other medals? He did serve and stuff like that. But then there's this one Medal of Honor that is not his, and it's not in the case.
It's the one that I have.
Yeah. You look down, by the way.
Are you sending me a message? I thought you said you were.
I will in a moment. You
Okay,
look down, by the way. You see that the medals case is where the stool was originally, before it was moved.
3 feet to the left?
Yeah, so 3 feet to the left, you see that there's that uniform in the picture frame.
Oh. All right. Okay, I slide the step stool 3 feet to the left.
Okay. The step stool already is 3 feet to the left. It was originally 3 feet to the right, like in front of the medals case.
Okay. Well, then I move it that way.
Okay. You got a case. You got a step stool in front of the case. That's the other thing that's really weird about this is that nothing's above the metal case. Like you look up and you see that there's like velvet curtains, kind of like as a backdrop behind all of that. But there's there's nothing above it.
You said everything was dusty. Does it look like this has any dust on it?
It does not. It looks dusty. Don't get me wrong, but it looks
but
like
it's not as dusty.
It looks like it's been disturbed. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna I'm not gonna take my shovel and like try moving it like just like one to like one side.
You move the curtain to the left, revealing a steel latch. Like a small sliding latch. Like you could open it and slide it open. Like one of those that like goes into like a door so you can like look out and see who's on the other side.
Yeah. I want to fully open the curtains before I fuck with the hatch. Do I
Okay.
see anything else?
No, the walls look like there's wallpaper behind it. It's just this one spot that's like there is no wallpaper. And there's just that latch that's currently closed.
Now, does it look like a latch for like a whole door, or just like a little
No,
cubby?
it just looks like you would open it and it would just essentially like cut out your eyes. Like only your eyes would be like seen, and only yeah.
Heard. All right. Do I hear anything on the other side of this latch?
Make a perception check. The DC 10.
Would you allow me to just take the 10 or no?
No, you are gonna have to roll this one.
Got it.
But that's a 12.
Hey.
Edgar, you hear you hear William, how I miss you, brother. The spirits have gone and taken you from me. How I long to see you again. From the other side of the wall.
Can I tell who that is?
It's muffled, but that's what you hear. So I would say, like, unfortunately, you cannot tell who it is. No.
And what name did they say? Is this
William.
like a male or a female?
It's a female who's calling for William. And the woman did use the term brother.
Oh, I'm taking notes. All right.
Do you not?
What?
Did you not realize who it was?
I'm taking notes, is what I said.
Oh.
All right. So, does it look like the latch like slides, or like does it drop downwards, or
It slides. It slides open.
Okay. Can I like slowly slide it to start like kind of peeking through?
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
Ooh, I'm a gorilla with a +3.
I'm gonna roll a disadvantage for this person.
Okay.
Okay. You slowly slide open. You are looking at another badger in this big room with this big round table in the center, crystal ball in the middle, bunch of like weird tarot and shit all over the wall. And you see Lady Lucretia sobbing into her hands.
I found out where the damn secret passage thing is.
Can you spell that?
Lucretia.
Thank you. All right. That like, is there some like weird shit happening, or is she just crying?
She's just
Like,
crying.
The crystal ball ain't doing no weird thing.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Edgar,
Oh boy.
I'm going to have you roll a D100. You're gonna call high or low. And if you guess right, we'll go from there.
All right.
Let me switch the
ready?
scene so that our guests can see these rolls.
This magnificent of a roll.
Yep. So I want you to go ahead and as you know, it's 1 to 50 and 51 to 100.
1 to 50 and 51 to 100.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna tell me if you want to do high or low, and then you're gonna roll it.
I'm gonna do low.
All right. You're calling low? Oh my god.
I knew it. Always low.
Okay.
Good.
Ooh.
all I just erased the whole message and had to start typing anew because of that.
Yeah, give me a second.
I'm rolling them hot D20s. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mansion, multiple people are bleeding out in an elevator.
Godfrey's still just wiggling into that suit of armor.
Oh, I forgot he was doing that.
Still looking for that person who has a gun. Someone has a gun, I swear.
You can smell it. Yeah, the person who just shot our entire party has a gun.
Yeah, that guy went up to the roof earlier, and that's where he's at.
He's just sitting there in a rocking chair.
Just waiting for the elevator.
Yeah.
It has one of those like lights outside the door that shows what floor it's on, so he's just like watching it. He's just like, you dumbasses.
Are we still doing that? Going up in the elevator?
Yeah, dude took the keys. I'm pretty sure dude took the keys and told us
I took
not
the
to.
keys.
Well,
There
I was
is
going
your
to
message.
tell you. I was going to stop you from doing that.
Let me know when you've got it.
Does it look familiar?
I wouldn't say familiar is the word.
Is it? All right. Here's a different question. Here, let me just type it.
We wait ever so patiently.
I know, right?
Dun dun dun. Stuff is getting juicy, guys.
If that makes sense. Oh, snap.
Got it?
Oh, got it.
Cool. You hear a voice, or well, I'm gonna say you hear a voice from outside in the hallway. You hear ladies and gentlemen, if you'd ever be so kind, I have finished an autopsy and I'd like to report on it. If you'd be so kind as to join me, please. We're going to cut over to the other side of the manor, up towards the bedrooms, and as Edmund Cross and Sergeant Greer, you guys are both wounded, but you are conscious. You are fully conscious, surrounded by a bunch of people. Guilfoyle takes a moment to like usher people out, so you guys need some rest, leaving you in the room with Mrs. Molesley. Yeah. It's just that, yeah, you guys are upstairs, whatever, and you see that you guys come to Mrs. Molesley is sitting next to the both of you, and she goes, "Oh, it's all right. Please don't worry about getting the sheets dirty. Detective Cross, you will let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I wouldn't trust my scalp with a scalpel, mind you." And you see she kind of like
She's pretty.
What?
she's
I
like,
don't think any of us would trust her with a scalpel.
she was making a joke. You see that she's kind of like getting you guys some wet bandages, you know, cleaning out your wounds, stopping the bleeding, kind of like helping you out.
She's making jokes that early?
Yeah, you see she goes,
Oh, but I can absolutely fetch some hot water and clean linens if you like.
I don't think that's a good idea right now, Mrs. Mosley.
she's just, you guys have been stabbed and shot. She's like giving you stitches and stuff. And like, and like wrapping your wounds with like cloth and bandages and stuff.
Brett's like, stop healing me.
Well, no. I want her to stay in the room. Why don't I go get them?
What are you going to get?
The hot water?
She goes,
That's very nice of you, Mr. Jeeves. While you're at it, I do hate to be a bother. We had some ice delivered not too long ago. Could you rush down to the kitchens and get some ice chips?
Of course. But when I get back, I need to crawl into that suit of armor so we can go stop the shooter.
you said, she goes,
Oh, this old thing. This thing was around before even I got here.
As I leave the room, is there anybody around?
say,
Or to Guilfoyle get rid of them?
let's say, roll me a perception check, DC 10.
Nope.
I'll tell you what, you come out in the hallway, doesn't seem like anybody's there. Like, Hawkins and Harding are both at the end of the hallway, but it looks like that they're there kind of as like a makeshift security detail, to make sure that like you guys don't like run while you're like in there or something. But it doesn't seem, but there's nobody else, you don't see anybody else in the hallway. Like even Guilfoyle's not there.
I guess I'm just gonna go down to the kitchen then, and get that hot water and ice chips.
Okay. You see that there's already, Millie is down there. She's another maid. She's working in the kitchen. You head down there and you see that she helps you get a big old, like, you gotta remember that this is like 1905 London. So you're still like carrying 2 buckets, either like on that like weird like broomstick kind of deal, or just in 2 hands, and then you got like a bunch of like linens and ice thrown over your other shoulder. As you head back up, you guys are hanging out. Mrs. Mosley just making sure you're all settled, wrapping up your wounds. Mrs. Mosley puts a hand on your shoulder, Alex, and she says,
You all right, dearie? Mr. Guilfoyle said there was some fearsome creature outside. Strange things afoot. Some sort of nickies or bugger. There are old souls round here, and when I was a girl, I used to talk about goblins and the fair folk running higgly-piggly in the countryside, and been all a matter of the occult.
You hear downstairs, Lady Lucretia goes, real! Whatever she's saying, all of it is real! And you see that she goes,
Sergeant Greer, what the devil did you face out there?
Monty Mosley?
Huh?
Why are you in such a chipper mood all of a sudden?
Oh, I'm not chipper. I'm just not as glum. I think everybody's starting to decide that it wasn't me at the very least. I never hurt William. I saw him when he was a boy. I'm the oldest one here after all. I'm just making sure you're all right.
she's like,
Work doesn't get done when you're frowning.
I just don't. I look over to Cross with like the eyes of like, say something. I don't know what to say to this bitch.
Well, the three of you, Jeeves, you return to the room and you hear Mrs. Molesley ask that, just kind of just like, she's very much just like, oh, what did you face down there? As you arrive in, the three of you were the only ones to encounter whatever was on the roof. So I would say, like, unless one of you wants to talk, any of you could answer, really. If you wanted to. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you what, Mrs. Molesley.
I thought you what?
He just said I got back with the water and the linens and the ice.
He's returned. Millie actually helps you carry it up, so you're not just fully struggling to get to the top, like get to rush up the stairs. So you actually get up the stairs relatively quickly.
I'll tell you what, Mrs. Molesley. If you can think back to what happened in Squire Badger's study and try and remember, I'll tell you what we faced.
She goes,
Oh dear, all right. All I remember is something. You got to forgive me. I don't remember much of what happened, but I remember what I saw was Squire Badger looked like he was in pain, a lot of pain, and then he took the knife from the table.
The knife, like, by the way, that in question is like the super sharp knife that he cut himself with, which I guess I never explained, is more of a letter opener than just like a kitchen's knife. It's like a weird, like, military, like, it's one of those things where it's like, that's definitely not a letter opener, but it's being used as a letter opener, and you're like, that's a whole saber. Like, not actually a saber, but you know what I'm talking about? I was like, this giant knife that he's been using as a letter opener. She's like, yeah, he took the letter opener, and he started to, I don't know what came over him, he just started to dig it, he just stab himself over and over.
Did he make any other noises or say anything? Did his hair stand up on ends?
Greer, make a persuasion check, please.
Why?
Just make a persuasion check. She goes,
You know, it's strange. Yeah, his hair did stand up a bit, I suppose. More than usual. It's like, what's the thing that happens when you run your feet on a rug, and then your hair stands up?
What was he doing just before the stabbing?
you see, she goes,
Oh, I don't quite remember.
Miss Murphy, I need you to.
I'm trying to.
Hey, calm down. Calm down, Greer.
The last thing I remember was him saying about how, he was afraid of something. He was, he was afraid, and that, and told me to go. I recall telling you that he was trying to let me go for a sum of money, and that's all I remember. Next thing I know, he was stabbing into his chest.
Was he looking in his desk to get you the money?
Oh, not yet, no. It was more that all I remember was we had our conversation, and then afterwards, all I can remember, and you'll have to excuse me, but all I can remember was him stabbing himself.
There wasn't any kind of bright lights or anything?
you see that she goes,
I'm not sure. I
What
don't.
sounds did Mosley? Did you hear anything odd?
I don't think so. Perhaps. I don't know.
Mrs. Molesley, we need to know. These people are trying to figure out why he was stabbing himself.
When you went to... I mean, you had blood on your fingers, and if you hadn't killed him, the only other thing is that maybe you went to his aid, and after he was Well, you know.
She goes, well, yeah, that's it. I remember was he started to scream and then he started to dig in his chest. And I said, I rushed to his side and I said, William, stop it. William, stop it. And I tried to move.
Did he feel warm? Or did your hair stand on ends?
She goes, you'll have to forgive me. I wasn't paying attention to my own hair when I was trying to rescue him. But I suppose he felt a little warm.
Warmer than usual?
Maybe not more than usual, but, you know, it wasn't cold.
Did you feel a tingling feeling as you were helping him?
A bit. A wee bit, I suppose.
Is it possible that someone could have rigged his desk to electrocute him to death?
She goes,
What's that? Rigged his desk? You'll have to forgive me. I'm much too old, so I'm not quite sure what rigging is. What's that?
If someone
Like on
took
a boat?
wires. What'd you say?
Like on a boat?
Yeah. So they took wires, say, from a boat, hooked it up to
What?
hooked it up to a light
like trying to
switch.
explain the internet to your grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and hooked it up to a light switch. And when someone flicked that light switch to turn on, say, a boat motor, instead of turning on the motor, it sends electricity through Mr. Badger.
Mrs. Mosley, did you touch anything before this happened? Did you flip a switch? Did you turn on a light? Could you not see?
He goes, I could see. I walked in, I didn't touch nothing.
At what point from you walking into the room did... What's his name?
Rip.
Fire Badger.
Badger.
Badger guy. Yes, fuck. At what point from you walking into the room to Badger killing himself? How many minutes?
What?
I don't understand your question. I, the DM,
How many
don't
asthma
understand your
attacks?
question.
I keep saying it wrong.
What?
How long from the time you entered until he began to stab his own chest?
Well, we got through the conversation about letting me go for the sum of money.
Then what? You did what? Specifically, I need to remember every detail, every fine.
I don't remember. That's all I can remember.
God
And then
damn it, Mrs. Mosley, I need you to remember.
the last thing I remember is him saying he was scared and then he struck himself with a knife. I don't remember
Scared
much.
of what, Mrs. Mosley?
He didn't specify.
Greer, calm down. She's an old lady.
She's an old fart.
Brett's
She's not
about to
giving us
cry.
any help.
She says,
And in regards to your wonderings about the rigging, there's a couple of people that come round here, going here, wherever. They look for the elevator, come round to fixing the other. Yeah, because for things to come in and people for Squire, but when they came in, they took his desk, and that's when he got his new desk. But the one that they bolted to the floor.
Who was they?
He goes, I don't know. I don't ask questions. I assume they were friends of the Squires.
Can I make a perception to see if those two guys are listening to us?
yes, go ahead and make a perception check.
God damn it!
Doesn't sound like anybody's listening. Sounds like you're pretty good. She's got a tiny voice, so unless she was the person they would probably hear is Greer the most.
Do you have a description of these people, Mrs. Mosley? What did they look like? What did they sound like? Was there anything distinctive about them that you particularly noticed?
I'm not real good at this guessing game. I'm not very good at charades. But if I had to give you an answer, I'd say they kind of look like the inspector.
The inspector.
She goes,
What?
well, there's
no, I
only...
was asking you. What does she mean?
Well, there's only one inspector.
I know. I can't think of who it is.
Duncan's the only inspector.
Which is
Yeah.
Max.
Max.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
She goes, yeah, I suppose they kind of look the same. Not the other ones. They don't look like him, but some of them do.
So, people who look like the inspector came in, took his desk, gave him a new desk, and bolted it to the floor for no reason. Said nothing about it. And you sat there and you watched.
Oh, well, love, I'm many years old. Even if I want to, it's not like I could fight them off.
Did anything out of the ordinary happen? Did they do anything strange? Did they hook up anything strange? Did they... anything that you would go, that seems rather odd for a desk?
Well, it's not so much the desk. Squire Badger did, it's about the time he started to get a little on edge and seemed to not be himself.
And any idea why that would be?
Not in the slightest, love.
And these men you say that look like the detective, and that was because why? Because of their outfits? Because of their face, their demeanor?
Yeah.
I'll ask 3 questions, love.
She goes, yeah, because of the outfits, because of the ways they look and the ways they carry themselves.
Yeah, but I'm saying their faces.
Yeah, they look like the inspector.
All of them.
Well, some of them, not all of them.
Explaining.
What did the other ones look like?
She says, a bit furrier. They had,
What are you again, Max? He's a wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it common for inspectors to be Weimaraners?
Not necessarily. It's not like the entire police force is just all Weimaraners. You know,
That's
If you
racist.
actually knew anything about wines, you know how funny that is.
any animal can really be
They're
anything.
so dumb. Fuck. So they came in, they look like Inspector. They're wearing Inspector gear. They're taking apart and replacing a desk, not in construction or builder's man's outfits. And then what? Continue your story.
Yeah, like I said, it's about the time the inspector started to get really to himself. He wasn't always like that. He was a cheerful lad when he was a boy. But ever since something happened, he started to get really lonesome and towards himself and keep to himself. It was around the time they came and changed the desk.
Now, when he got lonesome, did certain people stop hanging around? Was there maybe friends he no longer talked to, or something of anything like that?
There wasn't a lot of people that he kept around the house in the first place. It's actually strange that we're even throwing himself. Well, he wouldn't have thrown himself a birthday party if it wasn't for Constance and Jeremy.
Meaning they planned it.
Why, yes, they're the ones who threw the party.
Bow, bow, bow.
Fuck. The whole thing was only to get him killed and blame someone else.
It's at that moment you guys hear Dr. Magpie, who goes,
I keep thinking he's a cow shit.
no, he's like a bird. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd be so kind as to come on down. I've finished the autopsy.
Here?
He's the only doctor in the house. He did the autopsy on Squire Badger.
I feel like that's not allowed. I feel like you have to take it somewhere. I feel like you can't just start doing an autopsy just because you're a doctor. Like, yeah, I went to medical school. Cuts this guy open.
That's how it was in that time, though.
Oh, you're right. I forgot.
Anybody could cut anybody open, really.
I forgot what time we were in.
Did you not pay attention to the first episode? Somebody did get cut open.
Somebody did. In fact, he
Why
did
he
it to
cut
himself.
Open, yeah, he cut open himself.
So what do you guys want to do? Does anybody else want to do anything else in the meantime?
Did you see my question?
I didn't. Let me go ahead and. Look
I didn't do it on. Did it in fantasy grounds.
I would say go ahead and roll me a luck check. D100, call it high or low.
Oh God. High?
Nah. It was you were probably out running errands in the city or something.
Hey, Solly, would
yes.
I have heard anything of the such from where I was?
Regarding what?
To like them talking to Miss Mosley.
Mrs. Mosley is all the way upstairs in the bedroom with them. So I would say, like, given where you're at, no.
Okay. Cool.
I guess I'm gonna help Cross to his feet, seeing how injured he is, and ask him if he's ready to go downstairs.
Just mortally wounded. I think Cross is washing his hair.
He said he's back.
I'm back.
Okay, cool.
He's
washing his hair.
bloody hair.
So you see that Jeeves tries to help you guys to your feet. Do you guys head to Dr. Magpie?
Why would I want to go talk to a couch yet? I'm gonna walk towards that way. But on the way there, I want to see if Constance and Jeremy are there. And if not, I want to go find them.
Okay. You see. that-
Hold on. Before we leave,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw the keys at Greer.
At me? Bro, I'm wounded.
They're keys.
We go in the wound.
I'm tossing you a set of keys.
One more time. Say, what are you doing? I wasn't quite clear.
Where are they going?
Who's-
What now?
Who's get? Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
What was that?
I'm giving Greer the keys.
I catch them.
oh, okay,
Mortally
okay.
wounded.
Oh.
Can you make an athletic?
No, fuck you.
He.
Dead in your eyes.
You are fully dead. He tosses you a ring of keys, and you guys head downstairs. Does anybody else want to do something before we hop to this next scene?
Can I just ask Miss Mosley a question as I'm being escorted out of the room?
Yeah.
Do you recall at what point the power went out?
She looks at you puzzled. And she says, "The power went out."
As a player, I want to make sure I'm not crazy. The power went out, didn't it?
The power did not go out.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The power didn't go out?
Nope.
I don't remember it going out.
I thought the lights went out before there was a scream.
The lights flickered.
Oh, yeah, they like flickered.
They, like,
with the
flickered.
lightning.
They like flickered from the light, but they didn't go out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. My poor recollection.
God.
Well, I know what I want.
Can I rephrase my question to
Yeah.
at what point the lights flickered?
Like literally moments before the scream. I don't
No,
like.
we want to hear it from Mrs. Mosley.
No, to Miss Mosley.
You see that she says,
You'll have to forgive me. It's all a little bit fuzzy, but I'd say probably around the time where William told me he was afraid.
Thank you, love. That's very helpful.
Wait, and then the lights flickered. So did you actually see him
she goes, and that
kill himself?
she
Did you
says-
see the moment he died? Did you see the moment the light left his eyes?
she goes,
Jesus.
she goes, yes, and then I ran out and I cried for help. She says, but it's everything in between. It's a little bit fuzzy.
Of course it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Heal.
not a dog.
I'm just gonna shoot you this look of, I hate you.
Oh, I thought he said, I'm just gonna shoot you. I was like, what?
I have the pistol.
I'm just gonna, like, I'm just gonna
Listen
scout
here,
you.
bud. You pull that shit around here.
Edmund, can you roll me a
Who the hell's Edmund?
Edmund Cross?
No.
Edmund Cross.
Edmund
No, well,
Cross.
You mess my name up all the time.
Yeah,
That
I
is
actually, I was
True,
right.
because my name is Edmund.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making
Yeah.
sure.
Edmund,
I'm just making sure.
I'm.
Everyone's paying attention.
I am. This is a. This is a big one. All right.
Okay.
I need you to roll me a persuasion check, please.
A persuasion check.
Yes.
Just a straight persuasion.
Yes, sir. I would say Jeeves. Hold on. Jeeves is in the room, so don't take that one. Jeeves is in the room, so go ahead and roll with advantage, please. Now roll your second one.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow, Brett, you good?
You guys, you guys get picked up onto your feet by Jeeves. You start to head out. You feel the tiny little mole hand on the back of your coat, and Cross does. And you see that she says,
I don't know if it helps, Mr. Cross, but I've been thinking. I have been here for the longest time, and if it helps you find the caper, I want you to know that Loam Hall was built on an ancient set of Roman ruins, pre-Hadrian, from the early time that they were here, as part of the English countryside, Britannia. The hall is old, and the Brockholm Hollow family took over from the Romans after they departed from the lands, and it's been around for centuries. But there's a secret door in the wine cellar, I believe, but I'm not sure if that's active or not. The elevator does go there, or the elevator goes down to the cellars somewhere, but unfortunately, we had some repairmen we had some repairman committee, so now it only goes to the cellars at 3 o'clock.
Would there be any other way down to the cellar, dear?
She goes, well, there's a staircase in the kitchen.
you look at the clock. It is about 2:30 in the morning.
What does she mean, AM or PM?
She just says 3 o'clock.
This bitch.
So I wanna clarify something. So the elevator only goes at 3.
She believes that the elevator. She believes that the elevator. She said that the elevator only goes down at 3 o'clock.
As in, that's the time it can access that floor, as in that's the time when people use it to go down there.
You don't know. Perhaps none of it. Perhaps both. You see that she looks at you. She goes,
But please don't tell anyone that I told you about the elevator secrets, all right?
What other secrets do you know, Miss Mosey?
she goes,
Oh, well, not a lot. It's mainly, the secrets that I hear every now and then.
Go on. I'm quite interested. Yeah, lovely.
she says,
Oh, well, the late Squire Badger wasn't a fan of, paprika, and Otto used to sneak it in the porridge without him knowing.
Was he not a fan, Miss Mosey, or was he allergic?
No, he just wasn't a fan of the taste.
Okay, well, that was a lovely secret. Go on.
She says, he doesn't like to tell us, but Mr. Squire Badger has a lovely singing voice. He likes to go on the deck and sing to the wind sometimes, but he always swears it wasn't him. He goes, but I hear him.
Yes, go on, Miss Mosley. Tell me the
You see, she goes,
Great.
what else does she say? She says, she goes,
Sometimes the mice don't like to work their entire shifts, but we don't tell on them when they're playing a bit of hooky.
And when they play this hooky, do you know where they go?
She goes, no, and I'm much too old to chase them.
Is it still illegal to hit old people?
Yes.
Not in that day and age.
Cool.
And-
slap her.
And she's a woman.
I don't slap her. I don't slap her.
yeah,
Who rolled a D100 and got 44?
Me.
Why?
because I asked him to. Anything else you want to ask Mrs. Mosley?
Why is it not gonna fucking remember? Stupid bitch.
Let's not
Can I
push
make
our
a
luck.
persuasion and ask her to remember anything else like that would help us?
Yeah, that doesn't suck dick.
You gotta be more specific.
So like any
Gobble,
secrets
gobble.
about somebody that didn't like him?
Of the house, like secret corridors and such.
Yeah. So, bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. You see that she combs her mind. She doesn't come up with anything.
It's about we go and investigate those wine cellars.
I thought we were going to cow shit guy.
Did the two guys leave the hallway?
You want to poke your head out and find out?
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it stealthily.
Give me a stealth check.
Thank God.
You look out. Yeah, they don't seem to be there.
There's no one by the elevator.
Doesn't look like it.
Why don't the two of you hide in the elevator and see if it goes up in a half hour before it goes down?
Well, I have something I quite wanted to do, but if anyone else would like to, absolutely.
There's currently a bullet wound in my chest.
Why don't I hide in the elevator then?
I'll volunteer to help hide in the elevator too.
When the fuck did you get here?
He's been here.
Big Texan boot through the door.
Been here a
I'll
long time.
volunteer.
Damn, that 20 stealth check really coming in clutch, huh?
Nope. Just
Wait,
I
wait.
mean,
go to the center.
if Jack hides in the elevator, we can wait at the very bottom and wait and see what happens.
I think it just activates the ability to go down at 3. I don't think anyone's gonna go in it. I think if you're gonna hide in it, when it hits 3, go down.
Well, I'm saying, if the guy on top calls it to go up, and then go down and is using it as an escape. So he calls it up right before 3, gets in and goes down and escapes out the wine cellar.
It's very possible.
So we use Jack to hide in the elevator, wait for him, hopefully catch him, and then we wait at the bottom when it goes down.
I still want to go do my thing.
Just me?
Conscience, but yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna be in the elevator by myself if that was the plan.
I'll wear the armor and go in.
I'll go in with you because I don't want you to be in there by yourself.
Ross, do you want to wait at the bottom for us?
Yeah, I can wait at the bottom.
Are you guys
All right.
saying this out loud, by the way?
The way you said that? No.
All right. Can I get a group stealth check from you guys?
Yeah, we almost
Wait,
have
group
There are
stealth.
3 of you. 2 of you need to pass. So go ahead and roll a stealth.
Oh,
Well, shit.
that's all of us. We done.
Yep. Oh my
That's
god!
all of us. Keep going.
Oh,
Okay.
Holy
That
crap.
was late, but we passed for sure.
That's all of us. Keep going.
Not only do you pass, not only do you stealth. Ooh, how do I? So not only do you pass, you hear Hawkins and Harding have moved downstairs, roughly where the elevator. Like you can hear their voices from the shaft. They are watching the elevator from the bottom, like from the first floor. Well, the ground floor. Sorry, you guys are on the first floor. They're watching it from the ground floor.
Well, I was assuming that we'd be waiting in like the basement.
Yeah.
Get to the basement.
The only way to go to the basement is through the stairs in the kitchen. It's the only way to get to the basement. The basement stairs go to the cellar. The cellar goes to the cellar door. That is not. It's like a secret door. If you recall, Edgar used it to get into the house at the very first session. It's a secret door that may or may not be used, which we've confirmed that it is in fact in use because Edgar used it.
How would anybody know I used that?
I'm just saying that, like, for the players, not the characters.
The one that was in the kitchen when you came into the kitchen
Yeah.
from outside.
You guys are discussing like that. You head downstairs. You start heading downstairs. You do see that Constance and Jeremy are in the general public, like being called the Dr. Magpie. She is standing next to her husband, which is Dr. Magpie. And
She's with Dr. No, this is all a setup then. She told this bitch what to say. Fuck that. Fuck cow shit's advice.
you hear Dr. Magpie goes, one and all, friends and family of the Brock Hollows, myself, after a brief, examination of the corpse.
Dude, hold
Have an announcement to make. Having performed the autopsy of Squire Badger, we have discovered that Mrs. Mosley's account of the final moments of Squire Badger's life was not a hallucination or a figment of her imagination. In fact, she's witnessed the real events as they happened, though her interpretation of those events may be a little skewed. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. Go ahead and get a drink, get some food. We'll come back in about 10 minutes, give or take. See you then.
I got quite-
And we're back. Last we left our Sylvan Sleuths. They had been called to the scene of the crime by one Dr. Magpie, who was explaining that, indeed, Mrs. Mosley was right, though her recollection of the events may have been astrewn. You see that Mr. Magpie. You see that Dr. Magpie goes, he goes, I've determined that Squire Badger the Former was not, in fact, attempting suicide. Quite the opposite. He was trying to save his own life. Years ago, as I speak to the many fellow veterans of the Schnauzer War, certainly all of you know the horrors of the shrapnel grenades and shrapnel bombs and bullets that were set off. The Squire Badger the Former had a bit of shrapnel lodged next to his heart. Now, he goes, now, if it seems that given the look of the wound, that's specifically what it was he was trying to carve out. What caused it, I'm not quite sure, but it does seem that it was not as a matter of stabbing, but more of cutting, in an attempt to release some of those layers of flesh.
While he's saying these things, I'd like to make a whatever check I need to look around, see if anyone's faces are changing or if anyone looks suspicious. Or like...
Okay, go ahead and roll me a insight check.
I'm also gonna look around for people that look like the inspector.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Where is this taking place at?
This is right outside the study.
Blind.
So, like...
Yeah, here's what I'm saying. Are you staying in the study, or are you, like, gonna walk out and join the general public?
I'm still in that room.
Here's what I'm saying. You're not going to hear anything from the room. The house doesn't just, the house doesn't just, like, speak to you.
I get that. I just don't know where they are located in their
The seance room is down the hall. There's, like, many rooms. Huh? What I can show you is this map.
Is there like a blueprint of the building?
So I have them basically in the ways that you guys have unlocked them. So if you're looking at this map, right? They're all, like, I'll place your tokens. Essentially, you're all right here. In the drawing room where yeah, that's where everybody is. The seance room is essentially like on the other side of like this door here to the north, where it branches off into the kitchen and like and the seance room and all the quarters and stuff. So you're way north. Like you're not even close. No, like here's what I'm saying. If like just for a generalization, you're like way up here. You see how far that is? Cool.
See, well, we need more of these maps. Visualization. It helps the,
Yeah, if that helps you. So like I said, if you remain in the study, the secret study, yeah, you're not gonna hear anything. I'm sorry, say that again?
So whenever we cut back, like whenever they're done, like switch back to
He said, I'll act.
What do you want me to dance?
If that's a thing that you'll do.
How are we gonna see it?
Sorry, just figuring out where the hell I left off because I had to look up something. Okay. So he gives you that about the thing. Does anybody? I'm sorry. You rolled a. What was your insight?
15?
15. But Catherine looks. She just looks like she's listening to her husband talk about. Yeah. What did I say? Catherine? No, Constance. Yeah. So you see that he says that, and you see that Professor Shellcrest is the only one who just goes, "Hooray!" Like, only person who just kind of like cheers for it, knowing that it's not a, like, Mrs. Mosley isn't a full, like, a bloodthirsty killer. Anybody else want to do any checks or head off and do something while Dr. Magpie explains what he's found?
May I also make an insight check?
Sure.
To see if anyone is off to the autopsy being revealed?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this for everybody?
Everybody, you guys are all in the room at this point. You can all roll what you think is necessary. What you think you would want to do here.
Well, also, like working through that, do I see anything else? Or like, does it, like after seeing that, does it like go away? Does it seem?
Can you roll me a perception? Can you roll me a perception check real quick? You don't see anything. In fact, what I sent you kind of like goes away, and it seems like it keeps kind of like cuts on for a second, cuts back off, cuts back on, cuts back off. There is a sound coming from it. It's just really quiet. With a 17, you can't hear it, but you'd probably be able to hear it if you got closer to it. No. But you know what room this is. I thought, like, you do know what room this is. Yeah, you would have to go around and actually go in through the main entrance of it. Correct.
I put the eyes back.
Nope, just the thing that, like, that weird image that keeps kind of like coming on and off on the crystal ball. No, there's a lot of interesting stuff in here, but the only thing that really makes you go like everything here seems like it's should be not should be here, but it's all the same theme, right? It's all thematic, and it all seems like, okay, this is where he keeps all of his private, time in the service memorabilia and stuff like that. Like I said, the only one that was like not right was the metal. Okay, you switch to the busts. You hear the door click as you remove the bust from the locking mechanism. Where do you go next? God damn it.
To that, the spirit room.
Okay. We're gonna go right into this. And the reason is because I wasn't able to tell you during your message, so here's what we're going to do. You walk into the seance room, and...
Wow, we already went through the kitchen and everything.
Mm-hmm. You walk into the seance room. You are looking around. Currently the crystal ball is blank. Like, there's no image on it. You look around the room. It looks exactly how you saw from the other side. You look from the direction you were looking. You see this giant, like, oil painting of what looks to be like this kind of like old, like, King Charles the fifth, King Charles the third. I don't know, whatever esque painting.
I cut them out.
The eyes are missing. The eyes of the painting are missing. You again.
Wait, hold on, they are?
Yes.
What I'm putting down?
You slid the latch from your side closed. You're seeing what the latch was behind now. It was behind the eyes of this painting. So whoever is peeking from the study is peeking in on the seance room through the eyes of the painting. The problem is that you can tell just by looking at it. The eyes have been cut out. Somebody literally cut the eyes out.
Okay, so the eyes were never there.
So, okay, yeah, correct. The eyes were never never there.
Before you freak out, it was me. I cut the eyes. That's how I found the latch.
Don't tell me that. My character don't know that.
Just saying, it's not important.
You see a faint light, like a TV of static, like it's the salt and pepper channel when in like a dark room, kind of like turns on. You hear what sounds like someone through a walkie-talkie, because it's like that weird kind of staticky sound, hollow sound. And you turn around, you see the ghost of Connor McCabbage in the crystal ball, who looks at you, like, well, not looks at you, but kind of like looks in your direction. He doesn't seem to be able to see what, like, you can see him, but he doesn't seem to be able to see you. And he goes, hello? Hello? I'm so sorry. I'm trapped. I'm trapped. You see, he goes, I can't move. I can't move. I can't see. I can't. This is Connor McCabbage. He's the mouse that was supposed to be dead as a result of the accident with Squire Badger. He was supposedly he died in one of Squire Badger's textile mills. Oh shit! Hold on. Apparently, you've been muted this whole time. Good.
Wow.
Doing great work. Doing great work. Anyway, that's what you hear.
Can you hear me?
He goes, I can't. Listen, there's great danger. There's great danger.
Where are you?
I don't know. Everything is so. I'm trapped somewhere dark, but I see a light. Tell Catherine. Tell Catherine I'm here.
Who the fuck is Catherine?
Catherine is the widow McCabbage. Catherine McCabbage. She is the widow that Max talked to at the beginning.
I'm gonna say, I thought you died in a car accident.
He says, I'm not dead. At least I don't feel it. I'm trapped somewhere, and I don't know. I've been trying to reach out, but he says, listen, you must, Squire Badger, there's someone behind. And before he says anything after behind, cuts off.
Of course.
He says something Squire Badger behind.
He says, "You must, Squire Badger. There's someone behind."
Turn around, bitch.
I'm gonna turn around with like my shovel.
You turn around and meet the gaze of the photo of the big oil painting that's on the wall.
With eyes.
No. There's no eyes
Does
in
it
it.
have eyes?
There's no eyes in it. You're looking, essentially, like you turn around and you're just like, the painting. Like, what's behind you is the painting, aka the secret study.
Right.
Right. But like,
It's just like, it's
Who-
some, like, old royal badger.
okay, so that is okay. All right. But I already knew about that. Does this crystal ball like actually like lift up?
Yeah.
So there's no wires attached.
You lift it up, and there are wires attached.
I knew it.
Bum bum bum.
Spirits and shit.
Ba-da-da-da. All right. Are these wires followable?
They go right into the ground, under the floorboards, and disperse somewhere into the walls.
Yeah, I don't know any wires unless it's like plugged in that like you can follow anymore. Like,
All right. Well, while I'm here, is there anything that would else like pique my eye besides this crystal ball and the painting of Squire Badger and the secret study?
I would say, other than what I told you regarding Lucretia, in the sense that she also heard it, like you can tell that she also heard it before she
Right.
walked out. Nothing really. All of this stuff is in here is like bullshit. Like it's not. You know what I mean? It's like It's like Party City 1905 edition.
God. So, but like, is there like a desk or like?
It's a table. It's a big old round seance table.
But there isn't like any other like desks with drawers in it, like around the
There
room. that kind
there
of-
are a little like nightstand, like a wider nightstand, like a kind of like a coffee table that you see has like a bunch of like, like roots and herbs and shit in it, and like, stuff like that.
All right. Is there any other parts of the house that I would know that might be like restricted?
Well, the only part that's a hard question to answer. Obviously, the only other part you couldn't go is like the bed. Like, you wouldn't go into the squire's bedroom because like that's his personal place. But like, other than that, not really.
All right, so there wasn't like, okay, no matter what, just don't go behind this door.
Yeah, like you get like in hindsight, that room was probably the secret study. That's the room that they would be like, don't go through that door no matter what. That's probably the room that they were referred to. You wouldn't go into the regular
Right.
study, you know what I mean, just willy nilly. But you could, like you could, and
what is the point of the eyes looking through the painting? What is the point of being able to see the crystal ball from a different room?
all great questions.
Ooh. All right. Okay. I am going to, I guess, just walk back out. Whenever she ran out of the room, whenever I was looking through the painting, I remember it looks like she like went left or right?
She went left. She went left, basically towards the main hallway that would go back towards the main hall that's like goes upstairs or to the drawing room or something like that. Like that main hallway, like that main traffic hallway.
All right. I guess I am. Did I finish my banana?
Yes, you finished your banana. Do you leave it here for evidence?
No. What do you mean? I hit the peel. I'm a gorilla.
Is this
just got-
happening during
I'm just,
the
I'm just
autopsy?
gonna go back
Yes.
downstairs. I'm gonna, I guess go back downstairs.
Okay. You head out. You see that everybody's gathered in the drawing room, as it seems that like Magpie is giving some sort of like, not speech. It's kind of a presentation in a way.
All right. I'm just gonna approach quietly, kind of not to interrupt her.
Okay. Dr. Magpie's not Dr. Magpie's a dude, but all right.
I mean, okay.
Can I keep my eye on Harding? If he goes anywhere, it does anything.
Sure. You see that Dr. Magpie goes. He goes. What's more, it seems that there was a bit of almost like a burn located on the fingertips of the late Squire Badger, as if he suffered some sort of burn regarding his hands. I was unable to locate such an object that would burn his hands or his fingertips prior to the death. So unfortunately, it seems that that's where the investigation is at the current point. He looks around and just goes, any questions? And you see that Constance says, she goes, dear, if it wasn't a suicide, if he truly was saving his life, obviously we don't have any sort of laboratory or anything kind of powerful scientific instruments that would allow us to detect the burns, but you said he had metal in his chest? And you see that Jeremy speaks up and he goes, yes, Dr. Magpie, what's more, my father, I've never heard of him speak of a shrapnel injury of any kind. Constance, what have you? She turns to him and says, no, never, I don't remember that. Do you remember any stories of father receiving or having shrapnel in his heart?
Can I make an insight to see if she's lying?
You can, absolutely.
Any way I can help?
Is there a clock in this room?
In the drawing room, yes. Not in the study, but there is one in the drawing room, yes.
Any way I
What
can help?
time is it now?
It is about 2:45.
Oh, okay, just making sure we aren't like overshooting the.
The 3 o'clock. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. You can either watch Harding or you can help Godfrey. Okay. Anybody else want to try and help Godfrey here?
What would the check be?
You would be giving him the help action, essentially.
Oh, and what is he doing?
He's trying to tell if Constance and Jeremy are lying.
Oh, no, I don't want to help.
Okay. You listen to Constance, and it sounds like it's a conversation that's not super loud. It is kind of like it's not personal by any means. They're not like whispering about it, but it's not like they're yelling it to the whole crowd. You listen to her say that, and you don't really sound like, it doesn't sound like she's trying to deflect, or like it doesn't necessarily sound like she's lying.
Can I also roll to tell if she's lying?
You may. Do you wish to assist, or do you want to roll your own?
No, my own check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your own. Go ahead and roll an insight check. That's an 18. You got a message coming your way.
Fog.
Are we all free to roll insight checks?
Well, roll a new character. Call me White Devil. Black Jesus.
I sent you your message.
Message received.
Alrighty. Anyone else?
Can I? Insight?
Yeah, go ahead and
Is
roll
it
insight. What are you rolling an insight to?
To see if she's lying.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I keep rolling low tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, yeah, the conversation is just quiet enough that where you can't hear any like rises or dips in the voice that would indicate a lie. So it's hard for you to dictate if she's lying or tell the truth.
Solly, I did send you a message.
I see that. Ooh.
Just so you know, for like book sakes.
Loud and clear. Alrighty. Anyone else? Okay. The time is rapidly approaching 3 a.m. Mm-hmm.
I believe me and Jack are going to the top, and Cross is going to the bottom.
I will be venturing into the wine cellar.
Okay.
We're not
And
actually
attempt to
routing the
locate
elevator
this
up, are we?
secret door.
What'd you say?
No, we're gonna sit in it and make sure it goes down, and doesn't actually go up.
Also, quick question.
What's up?
That's how
How
that works.
big is this elevator?
It's a freight elevator, so it's a pretty decent size. It's
Okay.
It's one of those ones where you use it to bring like how I was explaining earlier. They use that elevator to bring like the giant wine casks like into the kitchen so they can be taken downstairs and stuff. This is for like it's meant to like bear a heavy load and stuff like that. Cody, did you have a question?
No, I lost it.
Heard. Do you guys tell anybody else about your elevator plan?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
Who's that guy
I
that's been giving us shit, but also like saved my life when I had a bullet in my chest?
Guilfoyle.
I would like Guilfoyle. I would like to let Guilfoyle know.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you this. Before you guys make any big decisions, I'm down for whatever it is you want to do because that is the name of the game. You guys do not look great. I mean, you look great, but you don't look great. You know what I mean? Like, not only are you injured, some of you are still missing hit points, but you all look, despite the thing that's on the roof or whatever that is, you stole the keys from Guilfoyle in the first place and went to the elevator. Your alibis do not look great. In this campaign, I guess I was explaining to you guys when we first started, the objective is at the end, when they point at somebody to put in jail, that is not you. You want that to not be you. Right?
Right.
You know when Greer took the elevator the first time, how loud it is. It will not take them a long time to figure out who took the elevator. And that the keys were in fact stolen a second time, which will only work against you. Being caught, being imprisoned, is the equivalent of character death in this. So whatever your plans are, I recommend you make them as airtight as possible beforehand.
Why don't we just check out that wine cellar for the time being?
I'll show you the way down.
I think we should put our goonery with the elevator on hold. And I'm just gonna let Guilfoyle now. Hey, hey, we're just gonna be poking around in the wine cellar. And if I could, I'd also like to ask him some questions as head of staff with the information that Miss Mosley gave us.
You want to speak to Guilfoyle about basically her saying about how there's a hidden floor essentially?
Not necessarily the hidden floor part, but she talks about that maintenance crew setting up his desk. I feel like as head of staff, he would know and or have record of that.
You see, okay, so you guys gonna find Guilfoyle to ask him that?
I don't know if they want to come with, but I wanted to ask him that.
Okay. You find Guilfoyle who's attending to Simon Shellcrest. Again, bringing the guests. Some of the guests have started to kind of like fall asleep. It is very, very early in the morning. Some of them are trying to sleep. Some of the people are being escorted to the upstairs, to the first floor, to different guest bedrooms and things like that. You see that Guilfoyle is overseeing that, making sure everybody's accommodated for and stuff like that. So if you wanted to approach him, you could. You can.
What does Shellcrest look like?
He's a
Do you have
giant
any-
snail.
Does he have any cracks in his shell?
Roll a perception check.
Nope.
None that you can tell, and if like the very little ones he does, it's hard to tell if he already had those. Do you care to enlighten your party? I say your party, but do you care to enlighten the group the clue you are trying to pursue?
I mean, I was just curious if it was because the person on the roof, whenever they shot the gun and it redirected into them, it cracked a shell. So I was trying to see if
You
the
did
shell was
hear a
cracked
loud
like he shot a gun.
crunching sound. Yes, you did. But Shellcrest does not seem to be like have any cracks in the shell. It seems.
Actually, I was about to ask that next. Who else has a shell around us?
You know well, I guess you wouldn't. You would know the two people with the shell are Harding, the valet, who's a giant turtle. Shellcrest.
Harding's a turtle?
Harding is a turtle.
That's the one I keep sticking to?
That's the one you're sticking to.
I thought Harding was a bird!
That's Hawkins.
Oh my god! Can I make a perception check if Harding's shell is fucked up?
Yeah, give me a second. You would know that Harding and Shellcrest both have shells, and then Jack West has like an assistant with him that's an armadillo. That was
my next question. Where is he?
Little guy's been gone for a while. I don't know.
He's just fucking off somewhere. Like,
wait, she wouldn't know about the crack. She wasn't there.
she didn't ask about the crack. She just asked what you were fighting up there. Oh, you wouldn't ask. Okay, so you don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna check Harding's shell next.
Before that happened, and I was down, so I don't think I would know either.
Let me.
Just by staring at him, would it be obvious enough that he has a large crack
Metagaming.
He has no crack.
You have a passive
Metagaming.
perception of 12. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna look at Harding's shell next, or
Does that mean that I know?
It means if there is one there, it's not obvious.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Harding's shell next.
Okay. His back, like the turtle shell that's on his back. You look at it. Go ahead and give me a perception check. The big shell on his back does not have a crack in it.
Huh. I'm gonna go down to the wine cellar while Cross talks to Guilfoyle, because I still don't like Guilfoyle right now.
Okay. You see that Mr. Guilfoyle sees you approach, Detective Cross. He goes, Mr. Detective Cross. How could I be of service to you, sir? Do you require some fresh linens or perhaps a drink?
I was just wondering if we could have a conversation in private.
Why, yes. You see he turns and he goes, Otto, if you could be so kind as to direct the staff to ensure that everybody's attended to fresh linens and the like. And he goes, yep. And he goes, all right, thank you. And he heads off and he says, sure, let me vacate the kitchen and I suppose we can have a private conversation. He walks into the kitchen and he goes, I'm going to need each and every one of you to please disperse for a moment. Please see to the guests to make sure that they are accommodated for, but do not return to the kitchen for a brief moment, please and thank you. You see that they give him a nod and they all disperse from the kitchen. And he goes, Detective, you have my undivided attention.
Before I begin talking to him, I want to make a quick perception check to make sure nobody is listening other than him.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check. It does not seem like anybody is listening currently, no.
And I would also I want to speak to him in like a hushed tone, like stealthily. Not necessarily like trying to hide what I'm saying, but like just in a lower tone of voice and just so that anyone passing by might have a harder time hearing.
Sure.
Would that be a stealth check?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Duty.
All right. You bring your voice down a little bit, and you can go ahead and begin your conversation with with Guilfoyle.
Mr. Guilfoyle, I am aware that my constituents and I have been giving you quite a rough time throughout the proceedings of this investigation.
That's an
I would like to
understatement,
personally apologize for that. And I would also like to let you know that we will be investigating the wine cellar for a moment. I'm not quite sure how long we'll be down there, but I would like you to be aware, as I am sure some of our actions have not been coming across in the greatest of lights. But it is imperative to the secrecy of this investigation that some level of discretion be involved. But as head of staff, I would like you to be aware that we are investigating leads, and we are doing our best to do so without alerting any potential threats that remain in the house.
He says, why, Detective Cross, do you have a hunch that the murderer could be hiding in the wine cellar?
Not necessarily the murderer per se, but maybe a potential outing for the criminal in question, or perhaps a stash where they may have hid some equipment. But we would like to just poke around down there just to cover all our bases, because it is the one area in the house we have yet to look.
Very well. You have my full support. If you'd like, I can fetch my keys, so that you can, open any of the various closets that are locked downstairs, the various pantries that we have down in the basement, if you would like.
Question.
Yes.
As a player, we have keys already, right?
You have, in fact, Guilfoyle's keys.
No. Greer has them.
You guys stole keys.
I stole them and gave them to Greer.
Oh, for the love of...
No, Greer has them. You were there whenever I handed them to her.
Okay. So... I still want him to be aware. How do I make it sound like I'm not aware that his keys have been taken?
Give me a deception check.
It would be a deception check.
Oh yeah, you're putting on a facade. You were
I have
in
a
the
plus
you were
5
in the
to
room when
deception.
Jeeves, in plain open sight, handed them to Greer. So when he's like, "Oh yeah, like I can just grab my keys for you and you can go check the pantries if you want," you're like, "Ooh shit, he doesn't have those." Like,
Okay. I'm going to stall for time. Before that, would it be possible that I could have a word with you in regards to some information that Miss Mosley made me privy to?
Mrs. Mosley. I suppose I could answer what it is that I could. Go on.
So it is to my understanding that the desk in the late Squire's study is recently installed, no?
Yes, he made a series of new purchases to liven up the place, is the words that he used. You know, different paintings and furnishings along the different baseboards and whatnot. One of the installments was of a brand new desk. I didn't ask questions.
Was this all installed by the same team?
No, the furnishings and the paintings, they were from just a bunch of like home designing company. But the desk was a different company in general. Some carpenter craftsman kind of deal that works with he was very adamant about having a metal desk. So they, it was a custom order that they had to oversee.
And it was personally delivered by staff from this establishment?
No. Like I said, the those who installed and delivered it were of a program that a company that Squire Badger requested. None of which work here in Loam Hall.
Would you happen to have any records of transaction between the Squire and this company?
Somewhere, I'm sure, absolutely. The Squire is keen on keeping, receipts and things like that. So while I'm not sure precisely where they were, I was not one who oversaw. He oversaw it specifically himself. I'm sure we could look for them and find them together.
I believe it would be most imperative to the investigation for you to hunt down those documents. Through our investigation, we were made aware that the Squire's desk had been tampered with, and we are looking into who may have done it, whether that be through the initial installment of the desk or later tampering by someone else. But knowing this company and the transaction specifically between this company would be greatly imperative to the investigation. I'm more than willing for you to locate this document as quickly as possible, and I can await you by the wine cellar if you would like to also fetch your keys while you hunt down this document.
Very well.
But the
because I will begin my search in the
next.
I will begin my search in the study, and when next we meet again, Detective.
Thank you, Mr. Guilfoyle. And at that, I'm going to go to the wine cellar.
Yes, my pleasure, sir. As you go to open the door to the wine cellar, you and Guilfoyle both turn as you hear the sound of bam, 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 bam. Somebody's like pounding on the door.
Oh?
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 Like the wine cellar door?
No, like the front door of Loam Hall.
Somebody
Love Hall.
showed up.
Oh no.
That wouldn't happen to be Scotland Yard, would it?
Oh no.
You see, he goes, I do hope so. He goes, shall we? And he turns and he starts to head towards the front door.
Oh no.
I.
Oh.
How excited would I be for Scotland Yard to finally be showing up?
Who's
At the
not
very least,
doing
it's
something?
actual armament that we could send to the roof.
That's what I want to. Who's not doing something?
I will go with Guilfoyle to the front door.
I'm
That's a
not
good
doing
question.
anything right now.
Okay. Where
I
are
will
you
go with
currently?
Guilfoyle to the front door.
Ask him again, Sam.
Cody, where are you hanging out at?
I believe I'm in the drawing room.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I'm not alone.
Heard.
I'm with you.
You see
Don't be
Guilfoyle
scared.
walks over. You see walks over to the front door, opens the front, like takes the unlocks the door, click, 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 unlocks the door, opens it. You see, soaked in looking up, soaked in rain, shaking against the cold, is Catherine McCabbage. The widow, the supposed quote unquote widow of Connor McCabbage, who looks up and she goes, I've seen him! I've seen my Connor! And that's all for this episode of Mice and Murder.
Really?
Shit.
Guys, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Make sure you take a second to like and subscribe, because otherwise you're not allowed to come to the next one. No, because it helps us a whole ton, and we want to see you guys hang out and chat. It's a good time. Other than that, this has been your Adventurer's Guide, reminding you that it could always be worse.
Be worse.
Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.